So today's topic should be interesting. Okay. So now today's agenda is JSP, right? So why was there a need for JSP when we already had servlets? Are you able to see my paint screen, guys? So when we had servlets, why was there a need for JSP? So servlets had some limitations. I will not call them disadvantages. I would rather call them as limitations. Servlet was not that flexible. Okay. Now, what are the limitations servlet had? Okay. If I would modify the servlet, the server had to refresh, correct? So every time I had to modify the servlet and I want to check for the modification, I had to restart the server. Okay. In JSP, it is not like that. Light schedule. Am I audible, guys? I have to switch. I had to switch to my mobile hotspot. Now am I audible? Yeah. I had to switch to my mobile hotspot. Light. There's no light over here. Is the paint here visible? So in JSP, what you have to do? Just make the changes and refresh the browser. That's all. Whatever changes you have to make, just make the changes, save the changes, and just you have to refresh the browser. The changes will take effect. That is point number one difference. Second difference between server and JSP is that we had to maintain how many files? Maintain three files. Which were they? .html, .c, .java, and that .java would compile to .class, and this .class would be the servlet file. Here you can achieve this same task by just writing one file, that is .jsp file. Maintain a single file .jsp. It will contain HTML plus Java code. Both the codes will be there. Only one file you have to maintain. But if you need some configuration, like if you want to maintain the servlet context and servlet, you know, config, then we'll have to use the web dot. This was XML, not CSS, right? So for that, we will need the web dot XML. if you need the configuration. Third, all these objects were user defined. User defined objects. So if I want to make the request, so HTTP servlet request object, I had to make the object. I could have given it name request. I could have given the name REQ. I could have given the name REQ1. I could have given any name to it because these objects were user defined. So request object was user defined. Response object was user defined. I could have given any name to it. Correct. RES1 or then the servlet context object was user defined. Servlet config object was user defined. HTTP session object was user defined. So all these objects, the print writer object was user defined. So I could have given any name to the print writer object. I could have given it PW, I could have given it out, whatever. HTTP context, I could have given any name. Context, font, config, I could have given any name. Config, conf, session, I could have given any name. Session, ses, ses1, I can give any name, right? Now these all objects, they become predefined. Okay, these all objects, they become predefined when we learn servlet. So HTTP request object is request. It is there by, okay, by default object is there. Response object is response. No need to create, it is there by this. Context object, context is for the entire application, right? Or for the particular servlet, guys. So there is a so there is a object by default named by application. For config, there is an object by default as config, okay, or it is called as page. Okay, so there is an object by default as config. For session, there is an object by default called as session. And for print writer, here we call as JSP writer. There is an object by default by the name out. So all these objects are predefined. We will not have to create the object. You will get all these objects as predefined form. All the objects are predefined. Okay. So there are many more advantages which JSP brings to the table. The easy integration with CSS, with CSS. Okay. Error handling. You can have a separate error page. You can have a separate error page. Then JSP also has its own tag that is called as a JSTL library. Okay. JSP standard tag library. What is it called as? Okay, and it is more flexible. So all these advantages JSP brings over servlet. So once you're comfortable with servlet, you will enjoy writing program in JSP more. So what we do is we write a, if I want to write a program to add two numbers, so I'll write a add.jsp. This add.jsp will be internally converted to a Java file. Okay, it compiles, the JSP file compiles to a servlet. What is a servlet? Servlet is the class file which is kept on the server. Servlet means the class file which is kept on the server. So now I have a add.jsp. This internally will compile to a servlet. So it will become a servlet. So it becomes add.jsp dot class. Both the name are merged and it becomes into a class file. So internally a JSP file will be compiled to a class file. Now JSP has various directives. Okay. So if this is a map of a city, let's say this is a city and I make a map of this city, the road map of Pune city. Okay. So I will show all the directions over here. This is north, south, east, west, and so in that city there will be certain pockets which are of the defense. Okay. So certain pockets are there which belongs to the army or air force. Okay, defense areas. So if I take Viman Nagar, so that is a air force base. There is a air force base over there. Okay. Then there is one air force. There is the southern command is there at some places. So southern command is the army base. Have you all, which all areas are there in Pune about the defense? Yes, guys, do you all have any idea? So this is the army area. Like this, there are small pockets are there wherein they are scattered across the city. Okay. Then there is some area in Khadki also, some areas. So in these areas, these are strictly for the defense. They are strictly for, am I audible to you all guys? Strictly for who, which guys? This is strictly for the defense, and normal civilian has to follow a lot of protocols to enter such areas. Yes or no? So the defense areas, so they are secured, and only their staff is having access to these areas. Normal civilians do not have entire access to these areas. So similarly, when I make a JSP file, okay, so these are small pockets, okay. The remainder, the remaining city is for the civilians. So normal civilians can roam around in the entire city. There are no pockets for civilians. The remainder of the city is for the civilians. So similarly, when I make a .jsp file, I have some pockets the where I can write Java code. So if I want to write a Java code, I have to write within Scrplet. Within what? This is called as a Scrplet. So I have to write the code within Scrplet. So I can make any area of Scrplet and then write the Java code inside that. So whenever I want to write Java code, I have to enclose it within the Scrplet. So small pockets of Java code will be there in the JSP file, but that should be within the Scrplet. Okay, and the remainder of that file will be your HTML code. The remainder of the file, HTML code you can write directly. Okay, but if you want to write Java code, you have to write between the JSP scriptlet. Got it? Now there are four types of JSP scriptlet. First is your declaration. Okay. By declaration, so you have to write. Okay, first is like let's say you can say your plain Java code. So if you want to write Java code, then enclose that code within, okay, the scriptlet, and you can write the Java code. Second is declaration. If you want to declare some variables, then you have to use this scriptlet, exclamation mark. While closing, now you can declare the variables over here, integer a, semicolon, and closing you have to use the same. This is called as declaration. Then you have expression. Expression means if you want to write a small Java code, okay, here you can write lengthy Java code. You can write lengthy Java code over here in your scriptlet. But if you want to write a small Java code, then you use expression that use equal to. Okay. So if you want to write a very small Java code, then use expression. Or you want to just consume a variable. Okay. Then you also have comments. Comments will use like this. If you want to comment a Java code, so this is how you will comment. So these are small scriptlets you will use while writing your Java code. So and you have to make a JSP file in the web app folder. Same place where you make the which file? Yes, which file comes in the web app folder, guys? Correct, absolutely. So this is more like a HTML file only, just with some pockets of Java code. That's it. So let's try to do some. So should I do it in the same one or should I make a separate project? Let's make ITB Shivam first JSP. 9 4.0, all good. So I've got the product over here. So I go to the SRC main web app. Okay. and then in the web app you can make a, so let's say if I want to add two numbers, if I want to add two numbers, so what will be the HTML for that? Okay, here one more advantage you can think of in the action. Here what happened is when I would give the action, I would specify the URL pattern, right? What would I specify in the action? The URL pattern, yes or no? But in JSP, you can directly give the name of the file. In JSP, you can directly, okay, no need, okay, in action, you can directly specify the .jsp file. Okay, so whatever file I've written directly, I can route to that file by passing the web XML. So no need to go via, okay, because web XML is optional. Web XML over here will use web XML will be used only for what over here, guys? Configuration. Okay. Here web XML is used for in servlet. Web XML is used for routing and configuration. Correct? Are you getting the concept, guys? Web XML is used for what in the servlet? So in the JSP, we don't will not use it for routing because directly in the action I can give the name of the JSP file. Okay. So let's come here. So let's open up the add. I'll copy the add.html from here. Okay. So let me copy this. I'll copy this. I'll prepare it over here. I can directly copy this file. I can copy this file from here directly and paste it over here. Okay. So I've got the add HTML over here in Shivam JSP, and now directly I can say over here add.jsp. Go where? What is the action? Add.jsp, and JSP file also will be the web app folder. Right click, new. Any guesses? JSP file. What name should I give to it? Add.jsp. So see, this is how a JSP file looks like. Okay. Now I need to read the two numbers. So how will I read those two numbers? How will I read those two numbers, guys? How do we read the numbers in, where is this HTML routing to? Shivanjali. Where is Shivanjali routing to? Where is Shivanjali going to what? Home page? Isn't there any add.html? So how would we read the values from the provided from the user? How would we read these values? Yes, anyone? Okay, they would go in the resources, right? So how would I read that values? Right, like this. Now I have to write this code over here in the JSP. So can I write this? This is which code? HTML code or Java code? This is HTML code or Java code. See, HTML code I can write directly. HTML code I can directly write. Welcome to my first JSP application. But if I have to write Java code, I have to write it within the scriptlet. So I will copy. Now, where is the request object? Here in servlet, we had the request object over here, correct? And I could give any name to it. I could have given REQ1 also. So now I have to just go and change wherever I have used request. I have to use REQ1 and the things will be fine. Correct? But here, how am I using request object? Because all these objects I get predefined over here. So I have a predefined request object. No need to declare it. Directly I can use it. Okay. Now what to do? Calculate the sum. And now I have to display this sum. So what do I do? What would we do to display the sum in servlet? So here what will I do? So did I make the out object? Then how come I'm able to use it? It's a predefined. Okay. So now let's save this much and let's try to check if we get the output or not. So let's start with the add.html, right click, run as, run on server. Okay, choose this always for this application, finish. See, ITB Shivam first JSP, okay, and add.html has popped up. I add 10 and 20. Click on add. What does it say? Welcome to my first JSP application, and it shows me 30 over there, correct? Yes or no? So these should have been what in the input type as text, no? Input type as text. Now to make any changes, all you need to do is just save and then just refresh. Let's go back to add.html. Now let's enter 100 and 200, 120, add and you get 120. Okay, simple hello world JSP program. Okay, then so here if you're writing a lengthy Java code, you put that into a, then if in between you're putting one more HTML, so putting one more HTML over there. Okay, so HTML can be written directly. So this is what JSP is as good as a HTML page. See, JSP is as good as a HTML page. Okay, take a paragraph from somewhere and add it. We can also copy this. So I'll take a paragraph. I'll save this. And now as I refresh, it will take that also into consideration. See, just you have to save and refresh. And now I want to do some calculation again. I want to do some calculation again now. So what I'll do is now I'll make an area in which I can initialize. So I'll use a, we can declare the variables of n1, n2, and n3. So now once I have declared the variable, here I can just initialize them, and now I can use it across multiple pockets. What happened over here? Okay. Okay, this is declaration. No, this is called as exclamation mark. Multiple annotations found in this line. You put all the declaration on top. Okay. So you'll put all the declaration on the top of the page. And now you can use these across the next area also. Okay. So now you can, with that you can, if you want to do the addition. Okay. So you are showing the addition over here. If you want to show the subtraction, then you can do that and show again. And again you can have a paragraph. Again some Java code. If you want to do the multiplication, you can show all that. So let's save it. Once I save it, I come, the numbers are over here. See, 100 and 220 numbers are here. Directly I'll keep on add. See, once you have, so that is the use of having a separate declaration. Because if I would have not declared them, then if had I declared them over here, so let's say I use over here 1 1 and 2 2. So if I declare these 1 1 and 2 2 only across this scriptlet, then their visibility will be only within this scriptlet. If I want that visibility to be across the entire page, then I declare them separately at the top and use. So that becomes a global scope. This will become only a local scope. Okay. So that is the reason of having a separate declaration tag. Okay. Then if I want to now comment out this calculation, so the new calculation was that you multiply and you add 10 to it. So the new calculation of multiplication was that you multiply the two numbers and let's say you add 10 to it. So now I want to comment this. How will I comment this now in JSP? Minus. And so this is what we call as a comment. I guess again end is minus minus over. Is a space over here. And then end. This is how you, this is how you comment in a JSP. Because whatever is the HTML part that gets commented, if I want to comment this line, see. HTML gets commented the way HTML is commented. But for JSP, if you want to comment, either you can use your Java comments. See, the comments are different. I just did a control shift slash. To comment, I did a control shift and the slash. So if you want to comment, you can use this. So if it is a HTML code, it will comment like a HTML. If it is a Java code, it will comment like a Java code. You have a scriptlet also for that. Control shift slash. Okay. Is uncommented back. Now the argument arises when we are using the two files. Then how come we can say that JSP uses only single file? We had a first point over here, no? Single file. So this code can be done in single file also. Accepting the input also, this part also, you can put it to the, so I copy this now. I'll make a new JSP file. Okay. I'll call it as self-processing. Okay. Add self-processing. Self-processing means it will take the data also and it will give the output also. So over here from the add HTML, I copy the form. So this is my HTML part, and from the add.jsp, I copy this data. I put it over here. This is my JSP. So when would this code execute? When would this code execute? When would this entire code execute over here after the form? When I click on the submit button. So what is the name of the submit button? S1, right? And the data is coming from the request, correct? And data is coming from request. So I'll have to check that whatever data is coming from the request, and I will check the S1. If it is not null, then I will read it. So I'll show you all how to do that also. So this all code will be executed when I click on the submit button. So if I see over here, so now what we will do, we will do both the tasks in one file. So I'll call that as self-processing. And when will this code execute? When the user clicks on the submit button. What is the name of the submit button? And this data is coming with the request, right? So I will directly say when it is not clicked, it is null. When it is not clicked, it is null. Okay. When it is clicked, it becomes not null. So I will say if my request.get parameter s1 is not equal to null, then you execute this code, right? put this over here. Okay, but then this also has to be, this is a if condition, so this all has to be within a, so we can take the declaration. Okay, so we can take this, no problem. But this code, when will it execute? This code will execute when my, I'll put it over here. So if my request dot get parameter s1 is not equal to null, then this code will be executed. So now the same file, now we can claim it. Okay. So now which is this file now? Add cell process. Why is this add.jsp showing an error? Okay. I'm all good. Now see, now the same file, I am setting the UI over here. Once the user clicks on submit, it becomes not null, and once my s1 is not null, it will execute this code, and my n1 n2 will be initialized. And okay, so let's try to see first self processing JSP application. So let's save it, directly run it from here. Okay, directly you can right click and run on server. Got it? Now these are all showing zero values, so nothing is there. Now I take 10 and 5 and click on add, and this becomes 15, this becomes 5, this becomes 15. Okay, so you can have the same, one file can manage both now. So you have to check. So here also then you can check. You can put a if condition over here also then, that when it is not null, then you display, okay, so that it doesn't show 0. So when the request dot is, it is not null, it is null. When the button is not clicked, it is null value. So let's refresh this now. Okay, so that line is not showing because add is null. This button is null right now. When I click it, it becomes not null. Now let me add 100 and 50. As I click, it becomes not null, and when it becomes not null, it will show the value. Making sense, guys? Okay. Then, if you wish, you can route this to the web XML also. If you want, you can route using web XML also. That this is my web XML. Let's copy it from here and paste it over here in the web INF. And okay, welcome file list. Let's give to add.js. If you want to give some servlet context, you can give. Okay, when we will do database connection using JSP, you can use this. Okay, so this we can use that time. database password, aspirum, driver name. Okay, we got all right. This is not required. No? This is not time pass. Okay, let's keep it. But URL is there, database name is there, username and password and driver name. I don't want these now. Servlet mapping. These nothing are there with me right now. I'll just keep one pair. Okay, I'll just keep one pair now. So if you want to use route via web XML, okay, this also can be done. So I'll just take one more in my web app. I'll make a new HTML file. We have the login, no? We have the login.html, so why not use it? Login.html, what does it contain? Yeah. So let's just use this login HTML and put it in the web app. Okay. Now this login.html is routing to which action? Which action is it routing to? Login. So here we should have the slash login, correct? Here we should have the slash login. Where is it? Here. So login is routing to login and login routing to login servlet, correct? So I will change the web XML. So login and login. Here you don't give servlet class. Here you have to specify the JSP file. So what do we have to specify in the web? So to specify the JSP file, because if you are not going to a servlet class, so we are going to a JSP file. So here you have right. Rest everything remains the same. Rest everything is same. JSP file, JSP. Okay. And then here also you will have to give the name of the JSP file with a slash. Okay. So you'll have to use slash at both the places. So this will go to slash login.jsp. So you can route using the web XML. So if it is your choice in JSP, it is your choice whether you want to route directly, like here I have done directly to add.jsp, or if you want to route via the web XML, you can do that also. So this is now action login. We go to the web XML. Okay, login will type with login and login. Now this should be the servlet name. No? So this is your JSP file, right? That will come over here, and this will be repeated. Correct? So slash login ties up with login, and login routes it to which file? Slash login.jsp. And here you have JSP file as a tag. So now what do I need over here in the web app? Yes, guys, I need a new JSP file. By what name? They're all there. Right? Visible? Is it still visible to you all? Yes, guys, am I audible? So now what will we do? So the same task which we are doing over here in the login servlet, we can do that task over here. Okay, these two are not required. Let's take this. copy this code and go to login.jsp, and in the body let's paste it. So I require these two strings. I will first go to declaration, which is exclamation mark, and declare two strings. String username, and give a semicolon over it, okay? Semicolon is compulsory. Now, no need to redeclare. Now, but this code should be within, the scriptlet, right? So it is Java code. Okay, request dot get parameter T1, T2. Now see, now do you need the servlet context object over here? Here you have a object by the name application. By what name? The servlet context object is predefined. By what name? By what name is it? Application. Directly you can use that. So application dot get in parameter app date, we have that. Okay. So let's store the app date also. So we'll take it into the app date variable. Okay. So all the declaration I'm pushing it onto the top. And now will I use system.out.println over here? This is going to the console, right? Where will this go to? This will go to the system.out means go to the console. And then I'm using the HTML user dot equals password out dot println, right? Login successful, request dispatcher. And now I'm sending it to which endpoint? Shivam. So there should be a Shivam. So let's take it. So we can do a mixture of servlet and JSP also. So where is Shivam routing to? Yeah. Okay. So where is Shivam routing to which servlet? So I'll take that code from here, paste it in my XML. So Shivam routes to Virat and Virat routes to which servlet? Odd even servlet. So I can copy that odd even servlet. So I copy that servlet from here and paste it where? In my resources, SRC main, I'll paste it over here. So then odd even servlet will take this code and will further go to the Google search. But it is reading the values from where now? I don't need that content type print writer out of println. From my config, it is reading the value. From where? So servlet config, my config. Where's that? So it is reading the value of the search from this variable, right? So it is reading the value from here, Virat. And then this is the actual servlet, right? So you all know how servlet works. And from my context, it also wants to read the app name. So it will again display the app name and route to the search. I'm just routing it from the JSP to the servlet. That's all what I'm doing over here. Okay. So this is what I want to show you all. So when my login.html, it goes to the login. There is no .jsp, means this is the action. It will go and check in the web XML where is this login routing to. Login.jsp JSP will come over here. Okay, we'll read the T1 and T2, read the application context, and if username and password is equal, we'll route to this URL pattern. Else, we'll go back to where login.html. Looks good to me. Let's try to run this now. Right click, run on server. Are you all getting the flow of this, guys? If anybody is still confused, what happened over here? Get init parameter, app date, line number 20 in login JSP. In login JSP, at login.jsp line 20, login.jsp line number 20 is the if condition, application dot get init parameter update. So we have the servlet context? Yes, we have it over here, and we have the app name also. You can just change the app name, and that doesn't make any difference. So yes, we have application as an inbuilt object is there, and why is it not able to? Okay, I guess. See, okay, guys, if you all have made any settings in the configuration after the application has started, then you have to restart the application. Because when I first ran the application, that time the web XML was not configured. So that was configured afterwards. So then you have to rerun the application. If any configuration changes, then you'll have to rerun the application. So that's why it is not able to fetch the app date. Some important and unexpected condition that prevented from fulfilling. Let's read the logs. Okay, get into the habit of reading the logs over here. It is showing me the state. Its root cause null pointer exception. App. It is showing me the app date over here. This maybe it's below. We have again done it right. Again at the yeah, it's fetching and it's displaying with app date. And username equals password. App name is being displayed over here. You've declared the app date, right? Yes, and it is displaying in the app date. And the username dot password. Okay, I should start with the login.html first, guys. I should be running which file first? I should be running which file? It's showing null pointer exception. No, there is no username. There is no username. Alice login. Okay, it's routing to Virat Code. It was showing null pointer exception at line number 20. That I'm not getting username because we didn't pass username. So from one HTML JSP, you can route to your servlets also by just using the web XML configuration. Is this making sense to you all? JSP. Okay. Now what advantage this JSP will do is, now once I have got this number, I can do whatever with it. Not necessary I will use my out.println. I'll take this N3 over here. If I want to display this N3 as a underline, bold and red color, so directly I can add HTML tag over here. Directly I can add HTML tags over here. Color equals to red. Okay. And then I can write bold. I can write underline. And now if you want to write a small Java code, then we use the expression, remember? So you can do it like this. So you can write your HTML, normal HTML, and then in that normal HTML, if you want to put a small amount of Java code, use the expression. So declaration, normal scriptlet, and then the expression. Let's save this. So font, color, is it in single quotes over here? Okay, so font is there, color red, BU, expression, /U/B/font. Yeah, why these errors for invalid location? Why? Should work perfectly fine. Yes, okay, so this should be good. But then, okay, let's run and check this out. So this is in the add.jsp. So let's run the add.html and see if we get this output. In modified, right click, turn on server. Okay. So now if I do 10 and 5 and click on add, see it is showing me the answer in red color and with the underline. So you can add all your HTML and then mix up your Java code with that. And if you want to use your small variables, you can use the expression tag of the expression scriptlet. In, in declaration, you can also declare functions. In declaration, you can also declare functions over here. So you can write a function, let's say public double area, and this will return, let's say 3.14 into 5 into 5. And now we can call this area function also over here. This can be used as a scriptlet. Let's check this out. In the declaration, you can put variable declaration or function declaration also. Let's save it. Let's come back over here. It is add HTML. Enter the random numbers. Click on add. See, it is showing me 78.5, which is the area of a circle of radius 5. So declaration, you can declare variables, declare functions, call them. and use it. Okay.